This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. Know we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute. And we'll get there in a minute, cause we'll get there in a minute.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We'll get there in a minute podcast. Once again, we're back again. Staying consistent, man. That's what it's about. Consistency forms greatness. Episode 5 in this joint. We got a special guest. We're gonna do something.
Not the fifth.
It's the fifth, not the fourth, the fifth. You know what I mean?
The fifth.
We still in quarantine. The homies, everybody's so safe, so that's good stuff. Just to say what's up before we introduce our guest, man. Kev, what's going on? Sash DZ, what's going on?
Nah, bro, I think we the only people that's still in quarantine. 100%. We might be the
whole
only
place called New York.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But that's New York, I guess. I feel like everybody else is just like living life. Ain't like
that's a fact. That's a fact.
This whole coronavirus shit. I don't know what type of.
I guess we're living life. You know, so I still, I'll get my walks, my run, my workout outdoors, son.
I know that. What I'm saying is, it just seemed like we're taking it serious to a certain extent. Like we in the house, we chilling, we doing that, we trying to stay from outside, trying to stay from around people for the most part. But I feel like everybody else is like, fuck that shit. Whatever happens, happens.
That's a fact. They be outside like it's nothing.
Yeah.
That's true, but just, keep percentages going. The community that's been getting hit the hardest is the Black and brown community. So, we got to just play our part, do what we got to do, man, and keep it pushing.
Facts.
Wash your hands and wash your ass, like DZ say.
Yeah, as simple as that.
Wash your hands, wash your ass.
Too, man.
Wash your hands, wash your ass.
Man, if you don't put
who knows? They ain't say that.
Yeah. And don't stop when this corona shit is over. Keep washing your hands and your ass.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
for real.
Motherfuckers is nasty. Like, nah, I ain't dapping nobody after this shit. Straight elbows.
More importantly,
elbows.
I don't want to say more importantly. Obviously, the coronavirus is something serious. But we got a special guest. Me and DZ grew up with him.
A legend.
He got to know, two of my closest friends at college. It's a wild ride. He's still living in
legend.
A legend, as some call it. He's known for
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
He's known for Toxic Masculinity Mondays. And he'll get into that.
Wild man.
The wildest man, the most controversial person, one of the most controversial people on the internet. And it's fitting that we decided to have him on Future's album drop date. If you know Toxic Masculinity, shout out to Future shouting out all his 19 baby moms on Twitter, which was crazy. I'm sure Willie loved that.
Wow.
But without further ado, I'd like to introduce my brother, Willie Fresco, Willie O'Gara, Mr. Toxic, Mr. Controversial. How you doing, Willie?
How you doing? Thank you for having me on the show, guys, man.
Well,
I'm doing good. Yeah. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm feeling good out here. Quarantine has not really stopped me from doing whatever the hell it is that I do on a daily basis. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a day that I've actually stayed inside of the house. I walk the earth. I've become one with the earth at this point.
Okay.
So,
That's what I said at the beginning of the podcast. We might be the only people
Right.
quarantine. This man we just had all these deaths. This man just sat here and said quarantine. This whole coronavirus thing hasn't changed my life at all.
Yeah, no, I'm doing exactly what I've been doing since before this happened. It's I don't know, man. Like it's weird times we living in, but I still feel like I need to maintain, a certain level of mental health, and being inside ain't gonna do it. So,
I feel you, bro.
That's
why you the legend, bro.
Yeah, that's why you're.
Yeah.
By the way, this is our first guest, episode 5, man. So we want to just, this is gonna go down eventually, man. And we're gonna get you back, because I'm sure you're gonna say.
I'm about to set the bar.
That we're gonna have to bring you back on.
I maybe light it on fire. I don't know about setting the bar.
We're gonna set the bar here, man. Set the bar.
So nothing's changed for you, as you've been saying. So what is it? What have you been doing? I guess, or What happened? You stop. I know
Yeah,
last time we talked recently, you was going to a party with with your home, the Jamaicans in Maine.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, Jamaica's a main, son. Like, it's a different world up here, son. Like, I couldn't believe it when I first seen it, but when I went out there to Bar Harbor for the first time, and it was a Tuesday, listen, I went in there, there wasn't too many people. It was my man's birthday.
Got the club
The
going.
DJ
Huh?
started, the DJ started playing dancehall music, and the place went nuts. There was, listen, people might have been jumping off the tables and jumping on the people and all kinds of, you know Jamaicans when they get out there and start dancing and everything. That place was going up on a Tuesday. Kid you not.
And Bar Harbor, Maine.
And Bar Harbor, Maine, Bar Harbor is all right. Like it's a tourist spot, but it was just it was so random to me, and it was just had everything. Like,
so here's
of course it's random. It's Jamaicans in Maine.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they only come up here to like pick apples and like do whatever it is that they do like during the summer.
This man said pick apples.
And then go back to Jamaica. Send the money back to Jamaica.
Question.
No apples grow in the spring.
Oh my God.
Like, what are you talking about, Willie?
Pick apples and send the money home.
Yeah, it's the wildest man in America, bro.
So all right, Willie.
Yeah.
So is your homeboy a Jamaican? I had so many questions about this with Trev said it. I had so many.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're all Jamaicans.
Okay.
Like,
I wasn't sure if you like just went out to Bar Harbor. You was like you just found some Jamaicans and shit.
Nah, you know what's actually crazy? Like I met them because I used to go to the club and a Half Acre in Bangor, and I used to just see them there all the time. And they were the only other guys that was there that was wearing anything that was not traditional. I wouldn't say like not traditional in Maine, but you don't see too many people walking around with, like Louis Vuitton and
in a club like Half Acre.
Exactly. You don't see that. Like you don't see that.
You shouldn't see that.
I don't want to cut you off, but I want to give the public what Half Acre is. So can you describe the scenery / setting of the club Half Acre? So we get an idea.
You ever drank a bottle of wine all the way down to like the bottom of the bottle, and then there's like all the backwash and all the disgusting crap in the bottom of the bottle? This is what Half Acre is. Like when you go to a club and you get closer to the bathrooms and you could smell the bathroom and you get closer to it. Yo, I can smell the bathroom from the entrance.
Okay.
It's the worst. Oh my God.
And just to clear that up too, how frequent of a visitor were you at this?
Oh shit, I'm there every week. You find me there every week. Fuck it. I'm there.
He's a frequent. This man had a punch card. He had a punch card. He'd go that often. He had a punch card. Get a free drink every 10 visits.
I know the bartender. The bartender, he see me, is like, yo, that's my guy Will right there. What are you drinking tonight? Henny and cranberry or whatever. So I got you.
You telling me you VIP at a shit spot?
At a shit stained spot in Bangor, nowhere, Maine.
And met your man's wearing Louis.
Son, listen, I don't make this stuff up, man. I don't make it up.
You can't. You can't.
You can't make it up. Like
you can't make this stuff up.
And that's why we respect you, and you're 100% honest right now in everything you're saying. So,
well, you the legend, bro.
This is it. So you're a frequent.
You know what's weird? Like I've never said a thing. I've never said a thing to these dudes for like 3 months, for like 3 straight months, and then I found out that they work with my girlfriend, and then eventually, like one night, like they, like I guess, like they invited her out or whatever, and was like, "Yo, like, come on out with your boyfriend or whatever," and this, that, and the third. Like we seen them in the club, yada yada yada, and I was like, "Oh, I know these dudes. Like, he got the same hairdo that I do, but I'm not, like he would go, like I would come there. Maybe I might come to the club with a ponytail or something like that. And he would have a ponytail. He would go into the bathroom, take the ponytail out. Like we wasn't going in there, like
Like,
we wasn't going into the spot with the same looking dude.
talking
You know
about
what I'm saying?
my best friend.
Yo, this is a nasty visual. Yeah.
I'm not understand. Like,
You niggas taking your
just took me-
ponytails out?
He just took me on a journey.
And,
I just hope
Like,
it
you took me
everybody.
on a
was
journey.
weird,
I
but
don't
we
know
would
if I
never-
wanted to
but we
go
would-
there.
But we would never say anything. We'd never exchange the word ever, which was funny. And then after that, you know, like we hung out one night. They had the Mont Gay rum on deck. You know, we started drinking, and that was it. You know, like
Yeah, this sounds like
I
it's
started
going
going
into like. Okay, so that doesn't sound. So I'm just gonna put it out there. The way that you're putting this story together, it sounds like he cooked you breakfast in the morning. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just.
no.
letting you know,
It's
bro.
nothing like that. I'm just saying, like,
I'm
you
just
know,
like, I'm putting it out there, bro.
Yeah, Willie, I got a question for you, bro.
yeah.
All right, so
We're getting into it already.
We getting into it.
It's only right,
Yeah.
bro. You can't.
yeah.
Hold on.
I'm trying to get to the
Before
shit.
you ask your question, we're gonna give it to you. We just want to thank all the subscribers. We have reached over 100. I don't know if everybody's been watching it, but hey,
Ooh.
thank you. We got
Appreciate
over
you.
100
Appreciate
subscribers, so
you.
we want to just shout out the fans. We're gonna keep this going, man. So trust me, but our first 100 subscribers it is, and people checking it out. We just want to thank everybody that's done that. And but we gonna
Appreciate
get this toxic shit. So DZ, we're gonna ask you a question right now too.
Back to the toxic shit.
So Rolly, do black men cheat? And if not, why do we have this negative stereotype, man?
Bro, listen.
Speak
Black
on
men
it.
do.
Speak
Yo.
on it.
All right. So a black man will never cheat on the woman that he cherishes.
Okay.
Everybody might say, oh, you know, like they'll laugh at it and they'll be like, hey, you know, like I know men that have cheated on, you know, like girls and this, that, and the third. Those are not men. They did not cherish their women. Those are boys. Those are black boys. When a man cherishes his woman, he will always be by her side and will never cheat on her. I do not care what anybody says. Black men do not cheat.
Shit like that.
And I hold that to a very high regard.
Don Juan DeMarco, shit like
Exactly. You got to hold yourself to a standard, and there's a stigma, I believe, on black people or black men in America that, you know, just because he's around a bunch of women and this, that, and the third, or he makes friends with women, like he's obviously sleeping with them, you know, and it's always just like, oh, he's gonna do me like he did the next girl, you know what I'm saying? But it's never like that. When a man is into a woman and he cherishes her and wants nothing else to do with any other woman, black men do not cheat.
Yeah.
We're gonna clap it up for that.
And I think if we hold ourselves more accountable when it comes to things like that, you'll see, you'll change the narrative. We'll change the narrative without any doubt.
Thank you, brother.
I
Thank
like
you.
that. I like that.
Thank
man.
you,
I
brother.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
In depth.
You know, I'm just glad you said that because I'm sure that the next question that is asked by whoever, whatever, maybe I'll set the question off. You know, a lot of clapping went on, but I'm sure I'm gonna mess this all up now. Toxic Masculinity Mondays. Okay, it's one of your things you're promoting your brand. How does that kind of? Well, first, let's just break us down. What is Toxic Masculinity Mondays and what is it involving? Because now, obviously, your Facebook is very and Instagram is very toxic. I guess is the word to say. Let's explain.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. So, what's the inspiration as well?
That's yeah.
So tell us about it and what's the inspiration behind it. So go ahead.
Oh man, it's, you know, honestly, like it kind of came out of left field. I believe like maybe about like it might have been like 3 years ago. I might have been playing like video games with like a group of people, and we just started to get into like a very toxic ass conversation. And it happened to be on a Monday, and I think that's just what we hashtagged. It was like Toxic Masculinity Mondays, and I felt like that was just like an outlet for. I know that like men, like we get placed in a category where we become too masculine, and it pretty much like, I don't know, overshadows everything else. It becomes toxic masculinity immediately, and I believe that like it is like that's a day for me to have an outlet to just get all the negative, all the disgusting stuff out, so that I could go on having a positive week. You know, so when toxic masculinity comes around, you know what I'm saying? You better. Most people be looking forward to it. Most people be looking forward to it.
So on 4/29/2020,
my man got the quotes.
You tweeted, why my bitches can't act accordingly.
Yo, okay, that is man. That's a golden tweet right there. That's a part of my golden experience collection right there, collective. Yeah, why can't y'all act accordingly? Like, honestly, like it's just like I don't know. I have a sometimes I feel like I have a hard time keeping people in line or whatever. It's like, yo, you know, I'm nice, I'm fair, you know. I don't think I'm too brash all the time or whatever. But if I can extend that same amount of courtesy to you, you know, why you gotta get upset with me all the time? Why do you gotta jump to conclusions all the time? Why can't you act accordingly? There was just a day where everybody was just like, yo, you know what? Fuck Will or whatever. And I was just like, okay.
Can you elaborate? Can you expound on? I mean, who was saying fuck Will? you know, like I don't know if that's been true.
I mean, obviously, like my girl was just like fuck Will. You know, there might have been a couple of people, like a couple of friends that I had that were just like fuck Will, this, that, and the third. You know, not to give out any names to protect the innocent. You know,
we don't need the name.
But you know, that's pretty much how it goes when we've all dealt with women at some point in time, and it's just like out of nowhere, it could always just go from "I love you, baby" to "fuck your punk ass," you know, like in the matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So you know, so sometimes we got to keep that in check. You know,
so all right,
we have guidelines for keeping that in check.
So all right.
Oh, so hold on. He mentioned guidelines. I think we need to hear some of these. You not just go.
All right.
He mentioned guidelines.
Okay, go for it.
He said there's some guidelines to keep him in check. Please share.
So all right. So usually when it goes from 0 to 100, you have to be able to match that energy at a second's glance.
So I think you recently experienced something like this in your neighborhood, right? You like overheard something like that, something similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Please
My
share.
man said, okay. So there was one day I was in the bedroom, and I listened to my neighbor go. His neighbor and his girl. He walked out the door. You know, she started running her mouth. You know, I don't even remember what it was about, but my man followed it up by "shut the fuck up," like aggressive, like super aggressive, and I was just like, yo. There was a tear that came, like there was a glimmer of hope in my eye, and tears followed by it. And that was a very controversial status that I actually made because I had to block somebody. I had to block somebody that runs their mouth quite a bit or whatever. So you know, people are looking to me at all times to match that. Like I said, match that energy at a moment's glance. If you don't, turn around and walk away.
We need people like you. We
Right.
need people like you.
We're living vicariously through you, and this is why we have you on here.
I got another question.
Hold on. We gotta let Sesh get his question off. He's you know
I forgot.
We established that Willie has a significant other. One of the other questions one of the questions that was asked: how does your significant other feel about Toxic Masculinity Monday?
It's more or less like, I guess it's like she knows what time it is on Monday, and it's just like, okay, either I'll match his energy, or I'll just leave it alone and go the other way.
The toxic,
it's just like I hate you on Monday some days.
So the toxic masculinity is more so like a therapy session for you more than anything. It's just
it is. It's like
so you don't run into any snafus during your week or anything like that. Go ahead, get it out of the way on Monday. So
You know what I like to call it? I like to call it triggered woman protection mantra. That's what I like to call it.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
it's the ward off a lot of the negativity that sometimes you might see me with a cool pair of shades on or a hat or something like that.
Fact.
That is toxic femininity blocking, right there. That's what we like, the femininity blockers.
So that has changed from hater blockers. You have just leveled. I'm mind blown. You have.
Hey, listen.
You've set a bar to now creating why you have shades on. Forget hater blockers. It is. What did you say? Trick. I'm just learning.
So femininity, toxic femininity blocking.
Wow.
And triggered woman protection mantra.
I wrote it down. Don't worry. I'm just gonna come back. So just so you know, I'm gonna read a quote real quick, just to kind of get us the full sense. I know you got a question. This is a quote from Toxic Masculinity, just to give us the full sense of what actually happens on this day. So, false society views masculinity as being toxic and disconnected with others, or being macho. We were raised like this, and more than likely from stronger individuals than ourselves. Be there, brothers. It's okay. The defender of toxic masculinity is here. Says this man.
Exactly.
So go ahead, Deez. I just wanted to give him a full sense of the weight that he puts on this day of the week.
So Future's Toxic King, you got to be Toxic Prince, right? Can we call you that?
Okay.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something like that. I don't think I'm out there doing the crazy numbers that he's doing. But I feel like he's doing.
He's a Duke.
Yeah. That's why he's king. You Prince.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I'm not the kind of guy to go out there and have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different baby mamas or whatever. But at least he takes the time on Mother's Day to acknowledge them. That's key. That's key. That is key.
Levels,
went down the list.
So speaking of Future, for my ladies out there, Future's Purple Rain or Beyonce's Lemonade, and why Future's Purple Rain?
I mean,
wow.
Purple Rain. Let's think about. Obviously, I've tried lean once. It's a delicious drink. Lemonade is all right, but it doesn't have that same effect. So obviously, Purple Rain. Obviously, and we're not and that's not to condone any type of lean usage. I do not condone.
Nah, that was a bar. That was a bar.
Bars was great. A great question. That question was phenomenal, by the way. Never really even put that together.
Didn't blink.
And then the flip, the rebuttal. That's battle rap. We'll get into a whole battle rap segment. That is it right there.
Who got the next question? Anybody mind if I jump in?
Yeah, sir.
Please.
All right. Okay. All right. So, Willie, you ready for this? All right. So, what do you think about my man, Little Boosie?
Oh, I was going to get
his recent actions.
Yo,
Whether
you know something?
His comments or what he's done within his own household. Either or, you can comment on whatever.
I'm highly afraid of what you're
do you think?
You want to to be 100% truthful?
Yep.
I don't even know what was being said with Boosie because I didn't follow behind it. So y'all gonna have to fill me in on that. And I heard there's some pretty disgusting shit.
Since I asked the question, I guess the most recent thing that people are the most up in arms about is his son, I believe, is 12 years old, right? Is that correct?
12, 13.
Okay.
Yeah, 12, 13, 14.
13. So 12 going on 13. He's a preteen, maybe a teenager.
Including his nephew, too.
Oh, and his nephew. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that. So a few young men that maybe aren't 14, might be virgins, may not. He paid for a young woman or sequestered. Maybe he didn't pay.
Older woman.
Oh.
Older.
Older woman.
Oh, this is where we're going with this.
to perform fellatio on these young men. So that's why a lot of people, because he kind of put it out there like, yeah, making sure that they becoming men, or I don't know, leading them in the right direction. I'm not sure exactly how it was posted.
That's not toxic masculinity. That's pedophilia, like 100%. Like,
okay,
if you want to be technical, that's not even being technical. Like, that's straight up pedophilia.
Right.
Like,
he's doing too much.
I don't think there's like no man actually condones an older woman. I mean, like, no, I'm not even gonna say that because where we from. That like stuff like that does happen. Not people paying, but there's been younger dudes that have obviously messed with older women.
But obviously they're putting themselves in those positions. They're not being told that this is what's supposed to be happening, and you're just gonna let it happen.
I've seen some people talk about it. Since we already on the Boosie thing already, we elephant.
Yeah, we already kicked that door.
Kev dropped the mic. But he wanted to get into it. So respect.
So at one point did we start talking about? I know Boosie was in the wrong, but who was the woman who did this? Like when did
prostitute
we think about her?
Yeah, that's my assumption. My assumption. I wasn't sure if it was paid, but
he said it was paid. He said it was paid.
Okay.
I think he said it was paid.
Streetwalker. Who else is gonna do it but a streetwalker?
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Sesh. I do, but it's clearly there's an influence that Boosie has, and there's a status of maybe more wealth than he has. So I don't necessarily want to blame the woman because
no, I'm not blaming anybody.
And I'm not saying you are, but forget her actions are clearly, there's always two sides. Both sides of party was wrong. But you know what? You're right. You're right. But we gotta focus on this bozo. I'm Boosie. Yeah.
My question is, where's the mother in this situation to press charges on Boosie for this?
Well, I don't think she knew until he just came out on Instagram Live about saying, hell yeah, he did it, blah blah blah. So I think things will come out more and surface more. But it's crazy because the other day
he's gonna have a case against him.
Yeah, but Boosie the other day, or not the other day, but when Dwayne Wade's son now, who is now his daughter and wants to be called that, and Boosie was like, she's too young to even, or he's too young, or she's too young to make those decisions for herself yet, and to change his sex to her now, but it's okay for you to pay for sex for your son. So the hatred of being gay in the Black community and then just doing stuff like that and then that being acceptable has got to change. Like, that shit is more damaging than fucking anything right now. Like, not anything right now. There's a whole bunch of damaging things. But once again, man, we got to quote our man Sesh. We got to do better.
Got to do better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
you better believe before the end of the summer I'm going to be wearing a shirt.
I really do. Willie, I really do appreciate you. Appreciate your answer on that, bro. Because I was definitely gonna cut that shit if you said some wild shit.
No. See, that's the thing. Like, I mean, there's a certain tolerance that I have for I think that's also changed with becoming a parent. Like, that's just I'd say like pre-parent. Well, I still wouldn't condone anything like that because that's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird as fuck, actually.
And I'm gonna go a little bit. Obviously, y'all know me. I can be bold. So if you agree with Boosie, you're a bozo. Boosie, you're a bozo. And anybody else that agrees with Boosie, you're a bozo. The woman that did it, you're a bozo too. And I hope all y'all can get some type of form of help. And if anybody wants to come and attack me, there's comment section. Please do. I'll answer them happily. But I really will stand and die on my sword. Y'all are damaging, and y'all are the reason there's a lot of other fucking problems that's going on. Y'all are all bozos. Y'all are all goofies. So I don't care if you were a person that you had sex with an older woman as a young boy. You're a bozo in the sense that you're defending it because you clearly have problems, and I'm sure you wouldn't like it if that was your daughter, and then So let's stop all that stuff now.
And an
So,
older man, yeah, exactly.
yeah, we got. Right now. I'm holding everybody that said it accountable, point blank period, that agrees with it, and that's
Yeah,
how
please comment. Please comment,
Yeah, you got
we can't fight though.
You got a tax. We got knuckle sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
we can
You know
fight.
what's up? You already know what the time what type of time I'm on. So
we preface that well, we can fight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just how
Exactly.
I stand. That's how I stand on that, and that's how strongly I feel against it. There's really no grounds to really even debate. You're just an idiot, ignorant, and I can go on forever. But we're gonna get off of that, and we're gonna get back to this fun stuff.
Yeah.
With Willie.
Willie. Okay.
Go ahead. No, go even better. Perfect. Because I'm just gonna resurface a lot of his tweets that he's tweeted over.
Yeah. So Willie, I'm sure the world has been waiting on this question. So, the streets have been hitting me. I told them you was coming on the show. They needed to know this one thing. So I saved it for last, man.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, what is the role of a woman in a relationship? The streets.
What is the role of a woman?
Streets want to know.
This is the tough one. Because it's just like,
I'm talking totality too. Everything, every aspect.
Things are. We live in a weird ass world now. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in the household knowing that a woman is supposed to be there with the women with the kids. Like we got, like it's traditional gender roles. Like that's how I grew up. Things have changed, and like I'd say, don't get me wrong. Like I've been at home with like my kid for, let's say, like a good 3 years or whatever. I was working on my own career at that point in time. Taking care of the kid at home, and everything is ever changing. There's no such thing, and like it's actually very funny that you asked that, because Trevor actually put me on a book about the ever-changing gender roles in society now and how we deal with all of that. So my views on that is it's changed over time. You guys are not getting like the old Willie that you guys were hoping to get on this show, but
please,
you're probably looking for that.
No. I want past and present aspects of that.
I love the growth, bro.
Yeah.
I love the growth.
But I need to hear the past and then hear the present.
Old Willie would be like, definitely like, fuck you, you're not getting a job, stay home. You're more happy at home watching the children, and you're happy. Look at the smile on your face with your children. Like, you're happy. You don't want to work. Why would you want to work? I provide. I bring home the money. Shut up. Take my money. Ruin my credit. Do this, that, and the third. Stay at home with the kids. That's old Willie.
Old Willie.
Yeah.
Old Willie.
Yeah.
I mean, society doesn't think that, like, things weren't. I feel like, I don't know, like it's just so weird now. Like everybody speaks out on everything, and everybody's so sensitive about everything, and it's just like I feel like at times like that, like things may have been just a little bit easier. Like it was easier to understand because there was only like a few things to understand. Now there's just so many things, so many dynamics, and so many variables to roles in a household that everything's changed up. A lot of us grew up in traditional households where the moms stayed home, the dads were out working. You ain't never seen your daddy because he was out working like 180 freaking hours a week. But
All right, so I'm gonna follow that up. Willie, y'all mentioned gender roles, raising kids. So Willie, if you do, how exactly do you expose the younger generation to Toxic Masculinity Monday? How does that work? Do you have a pre-K program that you bringing up
no. You don't want your kids around Toxic Masculinity Mondays, because those are days that I'm usually like frustrated as fuck.
But you got to teach them young. So how do you deal with that? Is there a preface? Do you let them know, like, listen, today's just not one of those days?
It's not one of those days. I feel like it's more or less. So you know what it is? I think in a time where everybody's so sensitive about everything, I think it's more or less still being allowed to express yourself. It's okay for you to be angry. We're fucking human. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to express ourselves without feeling not too much guilt and not too much remorse, depending on how, you could cut deep, when you get upset. But it's just like, at the same time, you have to be able to have some kind of outlet. And I don't feel like nowadays people have those type of outlets where they're able to get things off of their chest without everybody ridiculing. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to follow that up and say that at one point, the only opinions that the masses paid attention to were authors and writers in newspapers and journals. But now everybody has a way to broadcast their opinion.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little different when it comes to just getting something off your chest. Saying it within a circle is different than having it blasted so that tens of thousands can, have their opinion. So that's something that I always thought. Everyone has the right to their opinion, but I think people don't have the right to their rebuttal of your opinion.
Yeah, well, what do you think, like social media is for? It's for, and in the grand scheme of things, obviously it's to make friends. That's what it started off as, making friends, pointing out, certain opinions and everything like that. But now what it's become is you posting a status and you looking for validity in your opinions. That's what it is. True. And that's why a lot of people, I guess that's why like someone like me could get carried away where you have an Instagram that has like 20K followers and stuff like that, because people are obviously following me because they're trying to get like they're there for, whatever it is that you're talking about. Exactly. Right. So, I mean, I have a lot of people to co-sign my bullshit. If you come to my Facebook, you will always see like at least you will see comment on comment on comment on some of the craziest topics. And I don't, the thing is that whenever I have threads like that, I don't shut any one person down. I let people say and feel free to say whatever the hell it is that they want to say, because I know that I'm on Facebook and I'm saying the craziest things of all time too. I don't think it's wrong for anybody to express their opinion. Now, I mean, like if we take a turn towards, like a more racial topic and somebody's getting disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to put shit like that. Then you got to put shit like that in check. But it's like everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I don't care what is being said on my threads, as long as everybody feels like something can be, like their voice could be heard.
Listen, right?
You know what I'm saying?
This is I'm gonna go further into the why I call Willie a legend. This what just happened, what we just witnessed is literally why I call Willie the legend. Because he is probably one of the most intelligent people that I know, as far as like, but I feel like I know why he does shit, and I almost feel like he's doing it to trigger people, because he knows, like, I guess how socially how shit is working, and he just wants to fucking throw a wrench in that shit and just kind of cause some fucking chaos and shake shit up. And
that's honestly, what you call trolling. And yeah, I do troll the fuck out of the internet. Like,
and I appreciate a good troll, man. I appreciate a good troll.
It's always fun.
But it's like you can go from the beginning of this episode, from Will introducing Toxic Masculinity Mondays,
and somebody might frown their face up at it.
Yeah. So you getting into a whole deeper thing about people and their point of views, and how that, like, how people, it's almost like a group think. It's group think, and you're trying to combat that group think that kind of forces people to think a certain way, or feel like they have to think a certain way. So that's why
outside that box.
The man
outside that box.
The man made it.
Well, think about it. I mean,
if you really shape it up, and he said it's to get all his built up frustrations out, to start his week, and then how he goes, and now it's nothing but positivity.
Right.
Which is very impressive, and it's weirdly thought. But in the same token, I told you, my job is to just retweet things you say and not retweet.
Resurface. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Energy.
Yeah.
Because this is part of the toxic masculinity, and we do gotta let you get whatever you're feeling off. On 12/9/19, 4:50 p.m., you tweeted, "We ain't asked for that, Lizzo. Take your fat ass."
Oh shit.
Yo, you know
So,
something?
hold on. I think
Yeah.
some. So wait. I'm gonna cut you off. I think some laughter might have cut that whole quote off.
so
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'll
Please repeat.
12/9/19 at 4:50 p.m., you tweeted, "We ain't asked for that, Lizzo. Take your fat ass on somewhere," with the mean emoji face. Give a little leeway into that, some insight.
So listen,
What was going on?
yo, toxic masculinity in full effect right now.
Oh man.
We are here with the toxic masculinity. Lizzo, nobody asked for that shit. You're at the fucking at the Laker game of all fucking places. The children, people on TV. I mean, you know, people watching it from home. Nobody wants to see your ass all over the LA, stinking up the stadium. You know, like nobody wants to see that. Come on, son. Like, yo, you got like it's a family event. I bring my kids out to see, you know, LeBron James and the Lakers or whatever. I don't want to see Lizzo and fucking assless chaps shaking her ass all over the fucking stadium. Like, and I mean, like, obviously, like, I don't even think I would want to see that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would probably want to see it if it's Megan Thee Stallion or something like that. But I still think there's a place. There is a place and a time for that shit. And come on, man. Like, it's like, you want to do that? Go to the beach. I don't know if you're gonna wear assless chaps to the beach. You might, but you know, like, go to the beach. Take your fucking whale ass to the fucking beach, and your waffle ass to the beach. And shake your ass there. Like, don't come to the.
One of the things Lizzo is preaching, right, is the whole body positivity, and obviously she's a bigger woman.
I don't believe in that shit.
Watch
I don't
out for
believe
the
in that
big
shit.
girls.
Okay.
Watch out for the big girls. Big girls. Big girls.
He has a big girl.
Nah, I don't believe in that shit.
So why don't you believe in that?
Because all right, so look, as a previous bigger guy, I lost weight. I came down from what 230. I'm below 200 now. I still even believe that when I was at that size, being that unhealthy is disgusting. And trying to promote it and not trying to, you know, promote a healthy lifestyle in, you know, like in your life, or you're pushing that shit off on other people. Like, I don't think that is, I don't think it's a great thing. I don't think it's the greatest thing. I think you should be, like, body positive is okay. Like, I understand maybe for some people it's genetics where you might be that big or something like that, but it's just like, I feel like you're condoning a lot of, like, when I look at body positive and people that do condone body positive, it's always like, you know, somebody that's waiting online at fucking Wendy's, you know, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind. When
Yeah, I like Wendy's, bro. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we fucking
I'm
know you like
offended.
the fuck.
Hold up. Hold on, you can't.
He blacked on Kev.
You can't. Hold on, no.
I've never liked the
Whoa.
idea of body positive, and you know,
hold on, you can't. Hold on, wait. Let's take a pause. Let's separate body positive.
Yeah.
Let's separate body positive and Wendy's real quick, because we got to keep Wendy's.
There's no fucking
here.
separating.
You can go off on whatever else you want to.
Shit food with shit life mentality, like there's no separating that. Come on, son. Like,
you got some strong feelings. You got some strong feelings.
Fucking you up, Kev.
Okay. I see.
I didn't know that, and it's not. Come on, Kev. It's not to be. You know, like y'all know me from back like way back when I was fat shaming mad hard. You remember the fat shaming days when Michael was around? Oh yeah. Michael was getting every end of it back then. But
Shout
it's
out
just
to
like, you know, I was also a
my guy
skinny dude.
Migs too, man. Shout out to my guy Migs, man. Did a lot of stuff with Migs back in the day, man. Grew up in the
Veganism, yo, son. My man
Yeah.
is in the he's
a vegan now. Was always the fat Spanish cat,
Vegan.
man. Yeah, Migs is doing
My
this,
nigga
man.
always got
vagina.
something to do.
Always
He
got
always
something
got
to
something
do.
to do.
Always got a job we don't
My
know.
man is the
about. Shout out
busiest.
to my boy.
He's
busiest
Dominican.
nigga on it.
He's Dominican.
They busy. They stay busy.
Yeah,
Shout out to my
Yeah,
dog,
my man,
Migs,
my
man.
man,
You know-
the busiest man on the face of the world.
Man,
Shout out
if-
to the island of Hispaniola.
any of the viewers, if y'all don't know a Dominican, they run on 2.5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout out
That's
to
it.
my speaking of Dominicans. Shout out to my boy Biggs. He's a thought on top of having 100 jobs. He does, and he runs on maybe 2 hours of sleep too, dude. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
shout out to Biggs and the Dominicans.
And he dropped 200. He
Yeah.
dropped 200.
He was
There you
another fat dude, man. Real fat, had no neck, real ugly.
Hold on.
Fat,
Hefty.
nasty. God.
Hefty
He was
fellas,
fat.
bruh.
Biggs was
Hold on,
fat. That's
so
why his name
listen.
is Biggs, man.
Hold on. At one point, I had the name Fat Kev. So we're not just gonna be up here throwing all these punches
That shit ain't
at
go.
the big boys and the big girls. So listen.
I don't know
I'm just
when
gonna
we
put it
changed
out
that
there.
name. You still like that, Kev.
It's
That nigga
okay.
still hefty.
It's okay to be
Hefty,
above the standards.
Yo,
Let's
said,
put it out there.
yo, said she got rid of deodorant, thought he was slim. What the fuck wrong with Kev?
Son,
I would just put it out there. Formerly known as.
that's just yo.
Formerly known as.
Kevin
Hey,
is
listen,
my
shirtless.
Hindu connection.
Hey,
bro.
listen. Shirtless podcast coming soon.
Nah, we
No,
good.
no.
We good.
August. I know it's coming.
We just talked about
Hey,
Lizzo.
hey.
We good.
Yeah, return
ready.
to sender.
Women and children watch this podcast, Kev.
Be ready. Hey, Willie, you welcome. You welcome. You more than
Kev, are
welcome.
you triggered by this whole?
Not at all. I wouldn't say triggered. I'm a little offended that the hate is just flowing so freely, but it's okay.
I don't think it's hate.
okay.
I don't think it's hate. Because
Go ahead, buddy.
somebody's got to tell people like, yo, leading an unhealthy lifestyle is not right. It's not cool. Don't push your
Understood.
unhealthy shit off on other people that may like, yo, look at all right, so look at Monique. Monique
So-
was fat as fuck at one point in time.
Yeah, I can't.
Now look at Monique. Now look at Monique now.
So,
Look at
but
Star
listen,
Jones. Look
But listen,
at Adele. They were all big.
But listen though.
What happens? They push body positivity and then they go get slim on them fat bitches.
But body positivity allows you to care enough about yourself to move in that direction. So body positivity eventually, if you
I
are
hear that shit.
willing, like think about it. If you see yourself as someone that needs to be healthier, that needs to fit that image, you get what I'm saying? So once you care about you tend to put more into that. So I think I agree
No.
with the
Kev.
body positivity.
Kev, I'm a big guy too.
Go
As
eat
long
it.
as
Go,
you build
go,
on that.
go
As
eat
long
it.
as you
Go
build
eat
on
a
that.
Beyond
Nah,
sausage
I'm gonna just say that.
sandwich,
Kev,
man.
I
Come
disagree
I ain't
with
doing
that.
all that.
I disagree with
Go.
that. I think
Okay.
everybody should love themselves, but I think body positivity is more about bigger girls being comfortable with
With
being
being
their size.
Okay.
That's what positivity is, and it's more loving
Right.
yourself and not worried about the stigma of the skinny girl, blah blah blah. But we gotta separate that from what Lizzo did. Like Lizzo had her ass out. Like there's a difference between loving your shape and
questionable
And busting
fashion
it wide open.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
that's the
Busting the
difference.
whole sandwich.
And it's like-
she done you never even know. She must have busted the whole pants open before she even walked into the stadium. You know what I'm saying?
So
But
you're saying that might not
She
that
might
might
have
have been an
came in
accident.
with
But-
regular pants
No.
and ended up with assless chaps by the time she walked through the fucking.
No, but that's the thing though. If you're gonna go to a public forum and you making that statement, you gotta expect backlash no matter what it is.
Right.
Okay.
Like it could have
Yeah.
been Meg. It could have been Meg the Stallion. Some of us could appreciate it, but there's still gonna be people like, why would Meg do that at a Laker game?
I mean, we could
Like,
be
yeah.
honest. We could be
So
honest.
again,
we could be honest.
right.
If Megan Thee Stallion did it, it probably wouldn't have got the backlash that Lizzo got.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But anyone would say that any attention is what?
great
Positive attention.
positive attention.
Nah.
It
So,
is.
Somebody's
And,
paying attention to that
we're gonna
big
get into
floppy ass.
we're gonna get into one last question, or maybe a couple more, Willie.
Oh, and before that, shout out to the big girls. We love you. We don't want to take this as we don't. We love you.
This is remember, this is all the thoughts of Willie. We're asking questions. Kev is a big guy
We want
dancing,
the
so he's
skinny
hyped.
girls.
He's into this movement. On 11/9/19, Willie, at 3:38 p.m.
Jesus Christ.
It kind of goes into the whole body positive, and you just dumped on Wendy, so I tried to defend my man Kev in a way. You tweeted, hey,
The double curls.
hold on, you're tweeting. You tweeted, hey, they take an old white woman up top at Popeyes. It's a dunk contest over there. Can we elaborate on that?
Yeah.
All right.
Confused.
Y'all never seen it. Y'all
Hold on,
never seen that. That
Let me
video?
repeat it. Let me repeat it one more time. 11/9/19, 3:38 p.m. You tweeted, "Hey, they taking old white women up top at Popeyes. It's a dunk contest over there." Now, just you dumped on the whole Wendy's kind of thing. Now you're at Popeyes. Before we ask those questions, what the hell went on, and what are you talking about that they taking white women up top, and it's a dunk contest over there?
I actually remember that. I remember that there was a video.
Yeah,
there was a video where
Yeah.
a white woman, I believe, ended up getting into an altercation with, I believe, with one. I think it was one of the black coworkers. I mean, one of the black employees there or whatever. And I think she, referred to one of the employees with a racial slur or whatever. And the dude came out, took up top, and then just dunked her in some sauce. And some concrete sauce, like
Concrete sauce.
Concrete sauce.
Okay, so you weren't actually there.
That wasn't a toxic masculinity. You just going every Monday all the way from a year back. I see what you're doing.
I'm just recalling.
He's getting the full scope. I love it.
I feel like,
love it.
yeah, honestly, I don't feel like you should have been on Facebook, because I feel like I don't use Twitter that often.
Well,
and the
you
brunt
do.
of the stuff.
But you do enough to give great quote. So the fact that you weren't actually there and you explain that story makes a lot of sense. So now we're going to definitely follow into your toxic masculinity. 10/24/19. I'm just going back. I'm just finding great tweets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a day after my birthday. I must have been on one.
Oh, you were on one. And we're going to get into this. 9:22 p.m. You tweeted, "Tank is a fine example."
Sorry.
You tweeted, "Tank is a fine example of why we need toxic masculinity."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Speak on that.
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Well, first I want to first go in saying that the last couple of episodes that you guys had where DZ willingly chose Tank to go against Trey Songz or whoever the fuck it was, that was the worst decision. That was who the fuck listened to Tank after that statement? Like, so
What was the
now
statement?
getting into
What was the statement?
yo, if you suck dick once,
lost.
if you decide that you wanna, you're trying to suck dick or whatever, and that doesn't make you gay. You want to experiment. No.
Wait, when did he say that shit?
Kev.
He said that out loud?
Kev.
What?
Just let it go.
He said it. He
off
must
mic,
have said
off
it on
mic,
10/23/19.
Yeah, off mic,
That's when he
Kev.
said it.
Oh shit.
Off mic, Kev.
So hold on, I'm that late
shit.
though?
Yeah, off mic.
It's May? Yeah, that's a lot of months. Listen, I don't care that much about other people, so it's
We see, bro.
you gotta
Son,
believe
how
it.
are you on a podcast and you're not keeping up with
We were hoping he didn't.
with
I
current
like
events?
how you brought that full circle. I see what you're doing there, Derek. I see what you're doing.
So back to your Tank. Just go. What did he say again? And maybe there's people out there like Kev.
Please.
There's gonna be people
Right.
that are gonna gravitate, and there's gonna be a lot of people like
They try They trying to connect the dots. They trying to put them together.
All right. So basically, what he said is if you are experimenting and you decide that you want to suck dick just to experiment your sexuality or whatever, that doesn't necessarily make you gay. I don't understand how that does not. There's literally, God.
Well, it's got
This
some
is
feelings.
disgusting. Nah, like, because it's just like, yo, like you, like obviously, like you're gay. Like I watch it. Like I never even watched Brokeback Mountain, and I could never see Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger in the same light anymore after watching that movie. They were automatically gay to me after that. Like, when you make a statement like that, you were full-fledged gay to me.
Will Smith kissed a man in the movie.
Gay. Like,
before we go deeper in this is not, we are very cool with gay. We have gay friends. We got gay family members. So it's not an issue of that we hate gays or anything like that. Trust me.
Bro.
So just, we want to put that out there in the air. We're not making.
Right. It's all love.
There's no hate in our blood. So let's just get that out the way. We love gay people.
I've been here
right.
before.
So exactly.
Full disclosure: the opinions expressed by Will O'Gara are his and his alone.
And his alone.
And let me. I'm gonna. Just for me trying to be the voice of reason. I try to be the voice of reason on every topic, whether I agree with it or don't agree with it. I'm just gonna give what I think Tank was trying to say, and I'm gonna let you expound on that. I think what he was saying was, if you suck a dick, if you don't like it, I guess that don't make you gay. I don't know.
No. All right. All right. So this is the mature. This is the mature.
Hold on, wait, Willie. I'm gonna cut you off. If you start any questions with if, I can't even get that shit out. If you suck a dick, like
I said, man, whether I agree with it or not, I'm just going. I'm trying to be the voice of reason, so we aren't all on this lopsided side.
Oh,
we weren't.
Go ahead.
All right. So
I'm just saying.
So here's the. I know, I like to troll about the situation, but in all true honesty, from a mature end, what he is saying is that, okay, so why is it not acceptable for a man to search his sexuality, but y'all think it's okay for women to be able to search their sexuality? It's okay for women to be bisexual and explore their sexuality and stuff like that. But when it comes to men and they decide to do it, then you know how us as a Black culture already have a stigma of, hey, yo, you do this, you're fucking gay, like yada yada yada. Why is it not acceptable for men to explore their sexuality in different ways? And that's essentially what he's getting at.
Legend.
I still think it's gay, but you know.
All right, so Willie,
I agree. I agree with you.
You've crossed the line.
All right, I'm gonna jump into that. So you made a statement on May 5th, or in reaction to someone else's statement. You said, if you fuck my bitch, excuse my language for everyone out there, if you fuck my bitch, I don't want her back. Plain and simple. Does that also go for a female? If a female were to perform fellatio and put her vagina in your lady's face, do you still consider that the same, and would you not take her back? You know, I'm trying to keep the themes in mind.
Fellatio and sex are such different times.
But that's sex.
How
for
I
lesbians.
Get in on that?
Hold on. For lesbians, that's having sex. If they go down on one another and they make one another orgasm, that's how lesbians have sex. I mean, they may use toys. Hold on.
I don't want to get in the whole
a lot more than that.
All right. So yeah, you're right. So you're talking about, okay, so I just talked about fellatio, but in what he said, if a female were to fuck your bitch, are you taking it back? Like, what's up?
And all right, I say this with a lot of
Hold on.
love and tender
Why are you
care.
holding it? What you got? A knife in there, bro? What you got?
He felt threatened. He felt threatened. She
It's,
might
it's,
have
it's
had
my
the
nail
strap
clip. It's
on.
my it's my
Okay,
nail
all
clip.
Oh, okay. Like,
Go ahead. You good, bro? Go ahead.
somebody's getting
I don't
a call.
know.
So
that must be her.
does that not apply? Does that not apply? Her ear is a ringing. Does that not?
It's a very it really depends on you as a person. I think if anybody else is fucking with my girl, I don't know.
So it's a thin, hairy
kind
line.
of changes that changes the dynamic. I feel like I am the only one in your life. There should be nobody else. You know why? Because I have a standard.
Okay.
And the standard is not. It's definitely not to. You're giving yourself to me. I'm giving myself to you. You should only.
It's like a thin, hairy line, like thin.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's a hairy ass line.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
DZ ain't like that visual. He was upset.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Y'all just keep posting.
Hey, listen. I'm trying to feed the beast. That's it.
Listen, I got all the answers y'all want, man. Anything y'all looking for, I got them, man. I'm a fully loaded gun.
Just clipping your fingernails on the podcast. This is really amazing shit.
No, I'm not clipping my nails. I'm just it's something. Sometimes I have a bad habit of fidgeting with things when I'm in interviews and stuff like that, and all right.
Willie's a legend, man.
Great content.
Great. It's fantastic.
All right, man.
Yeah. Willie, we appreciate you, and this is not the last time we are going to see you. So we're going to get into a couple of different topics that necessarily don't have to worry about what will Willie do segment. So first thing is first. Obviously you guys know we all are football junkies, love the game, love the sport. That's how we kind of all connected, pretty much, except for me and DZ were brothers. Mm-hmm. Willie grew up on the same block as us, but that's neither here or there. Cam Newton is now going out, pretty much saying he's willing to be a backup. Is that foul, or is it crazy? This is the guy that was a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl. I think he's still got a lot of talent. That's not my opinion, but the fact that he's willing to play a backup role, what's y'all opinions on that?
I think it's funny, man, because I feel like honestly, Cam I felt like he was adamant about getting a starting role, and I think that's the reason he's coming out now saying, "I'll take a backup role," because he's probably not getting the look that he think he should get as a starter. And I think he's somewhat, I guess, lowering his expectations or whatnot to get into the league. If you think you're a starter, bro, say you're a starter. Go for the starting spot. But that may entail him getting a backup spot. So
do you think
I don't know.
You think he's a starter? Do you think he's capable of being a starter?
100%. I think he's better than probably majority, like probably half of the starters in the NFL now.
All right.
100%.
Agreed.
We'll take it to you. What's your thoughts on it?
I agree. I think he's in the position where if he gets into a role where the quarterback there is under question, like a Mariota, Tannehill kind of situation, he might be able to shine in the middle of the year and step forward. But in general, I feel like he may take a backup role, but it's going to be in an area that he can shine.
So before I go on to DZ, just so we can, obviously we're going to debate about this and things everybody said. So you're saying it has to be a Mariota role, and is he deserving of a starting spot or not?
Yes, he is deserving of a starting spot, but I can see him taking a backup role to play the Tannehill role in terms of like taking over when someone doesn't do what they need to a couple games into the season. So I think he should be a starter, but I can see him playing the game to get himself into that role.
Okay. All right.
So that's my thought.
All right, DZ.
I think to start it, I think Carolina did him real bad.
Yeah.
Because if they knew they were going to release him, which I'm sure they did, if they would have released him earlier, before the coronavirus, the team could have had a chance to, evaluate his health, see how he was and all that. Like now it's a big gamble. So like, I think skill wise he can be, but the health is such a question mark that, a GM taking that risk is ultimately putting your job on the line. Like you're going to pay Cam Newton, $90 million for a starting role and he's not 100% health and you find that out week one, it's a little difficult, but if Carolina would have did him the way they should have did him and released him sooner, then things would have been a lot better for him. So,
at this point,
go ahead. Okay.
I was going to say, quick question. He's healthier now than he would have been at the beginning of this. So this is like the March, let's say, first week of March. Right now, we're getting into early or late May, early June. Who right now? I'm not sure exactly who it is, so I'm gonna ask Derek. Who's the backup for Lamar Jackson? Why wouldn't the Ravens want to pick him up?
That's a lot of money. You got it. He's not. Come on.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, bro.
I think.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson
to win a ring, I think it'll take a couple $1 million just to sit on the bench.
Listen,
and
Lamar
step
Jackson,
up in case he wants to.
Lamar Jackson's on a rookie contract. Why would you pay a quarterback a couple $1 million to be on your bench?
And then you got RG3 behind him, who is
That's why I wasn't sure who the backup was. I'm throwing the questions out there. Okay.
Me personally, I think it's somewhat disrespect, regardless of Corona or not. To go back with DZ's we didn't foresee Corona. But you're not going to tell me there's a plethora of people that have gotten picked up right now in the NFL, regardless of health. There's some people that have been injured. He lives in Atlanta. He's showing that through all of it. There is a doctor that he can go to professionally that NFL has ties with. He can go and get any screening he wants through the NFL right now. Right? Like we're not going to sit here and act like the NFL isn't one of the biggest businesses out. Point blank period.
Right.
To say that he should settle for a backer role is crazy. There's a lot of places he could fit. A lot of places. Like, or even if it is a backer role, people would want him to at least bring him in and let him challenge the starter. I can think of a lot of teams. Obviously, they got their QBs, their rookie young QBs, but we all know this game's about competition. So you got the Redskins right now. And Haskins, who could probably need a push, right? You got the Giants and what's old boy's name that could need a push?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. I asked the Giants fans. Shoot, you can even. I would say, obviously, the Packers low key ain't satisfied right now. What's going on? Maybe shake up the room, right?
My favorite spot for him before all this was Chicago.
It's another great spot. Shoot, even the Chargers. Let him shake up between him and Tyrod Taylor. Yeah. I just think there's so many teams that could use Cam Newton, and I don't see what is really the issue because he's not a guy that has a bad rap sheet on top of it. You know what I'm saying? He's not a QB that's been in trouble. He's ran his body into the ground for Carolina. He's thrown for great passes, and on top of it, he's never had some of these top-notch receivers.
Right. So, but again,
who was older, and Greg Olsen, who was older.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Once you get the label of high maintenance, it's hard in the NFL to find another home because people feel like they're taking on.
That's not true.
I understand that. I completely understand it, but maybe they label certain players as high maintenance, but he's gotten that label. Someone that takes a lot of energy to manage. So they don't want to take that on because he may create more problems than the benefits that he may bring if a quarterback goes down.
When is Cam Newton got that diva?
Johnny Manziel got 100 chances in the NFL.
But when has Cam Newton got that diva title?
Listen, I agree with what you're saying, but that is the stigma that he has. He's not healthy, like you said, or they're not able to check his health. And then you bring on the fact that he's been known as someone to be very boisterous, say his opinions, speak his mind, but also require a lot of energy to keep somewhat maintained within a, everyone has to play their role, some kind of sport.
I think Cam has been very quiet. He doesn't speak on political issues. The only thing that's loud about him is the way he dresses. Cam has been an upstanding citizen. He's been a class act since he's touched the league.
And I guess that's where I'm going with. If you the only you can really base him off of is his dress. I mean, for how many years he's been playing with Carolina, this has been his real injury that set him out. Really sat him out.
Right.
And
But bringing somebody like Cam into a backup role, you bring a lot of media attention to your organization. And I think that's what comes with, like, that might be a hesitation for some GMs, is the fact that I'm putting unnecessary pressure on my team and on unnecessary media attention on my team for a backup quarterback. Yeah. This is a guy the team might not think that they want him as a starter. For what reason, I have no fucking idea. But they might say, well, we need to, maybe it's because of the injury, because you did have a back injury. This wasn't just like a normal injury. Like, maybe we need to do more reevaluate. Maybe we need to reevaluate you better, see where you stand, and we don't feel like that's conducive for a backup role right now. For us to pay you to bring you in and you to bring that type of media circus in with you as a backup.
So, in regards to the media, do you think he's like the Tebow of a couple years ago?
No.
In regards to the media.
I mean, I think the media is what it is. Cam is a high-profile guy. Right. He's going to get that attention regardless. Tim Tebow brought a lot of different things as far as spiritual, what he did, and how, he was a man in college, right? And Tim Tebow is Tim Tebow. So it's hard for him to put those two together, right? Because there's so many different things that they're so different. But yes, there's both high media attention to that. I get that. But to say that, no, this guy he's really changed Carolina's franchise. Hmm. Like, there's nothing but facts behind that. Carolina has not been good. He brought them, if it's about wins that we always talk about from the previous episodes, this man has brought them to the Super Bowl. If you want to complain about, he didn't die for the fumble, well, now here's a great example of why he shouldn't. Because now, if he would have got hurt in that fumble, what would his career be? And it's showing now that, right, if you get an injury, this is what teams treat you as. So do you lay out your body on the line to get disrespected in the long run? Or do you hopefully save yourself now? And this is the $1 million question, right? Because now, and it's funny, this is $1 million on the line. It is. This is $1 million. If he would have got hurt in that Super Bowl right there for laying out for that, he's not getting picked up. And it could be possibly over for Cam's career. And now he has an injury that really sits him out for the season, and now he's got to play a backup role. So I just want people to realize that and the hypocrisy that comes with it, to lay out for the line and do all this, and then now look at the team does to you.
Right. And I'm going to bring it back to a question that Trev had at the end of the first episode. Black quarterbacks, are they here to stay, or is it a fad?
You know what? I'm going to play by a black QB.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. If the game is about competing, if everybody's so focused on this whole Michael Jordan mindset where you go in and compete and you be the best, and, Michael Jordan's labeled as a tyrant and everybody wants that. So if this guy is calling people out or whatever he's doing to win, now it's a problem. So what do people want from these athletes? Is my question. We can get into that topic later on. That's something I want to propose to people who do watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
just to answer, I'm gonna answer that, because I think as a lot of people as fans, I say us lightly just because I was once a player at one point and kind of I see that from both sides. I think fans see it as strictly as fans. Like, these people should be invested into these teams the way that they are invested into them. So take like me as a Ravens fan. Yeah. If other people in Baltimore think like these players should be, I guess, they should be wholeheartedly into that organization. They should give their all to that organization. And I don't think they see it as a job. These dudes are like, this is an opportunity, but this is a job nonetheless. So treat it as a job. If you are underpaid, if you're this, that, and the third, if you have any discrepancies at your job, you go to your boss about it. And if your boss doesn't act accordingly, and if you are an intricate part in the success of your job and your boss doesn't act accordingly, what do you do? Do you continue to work there, or do you look for another job? It's the same thing. It's just us as fans don't look at it that way. We don't see the players as people. We see them as a character, almost. A character in the game that we get to watch on Sunday. And if you can't play on Sunday because it affects my fantasy points or some shit like that, it's this huge thing. Whereas you're not thinking of it as this is another human being who is going to work, except for he works on Sunday and I just happen to pay to watch him work. And you feel because you pay to watch this person work, you have control over that person. And that's not the case.
Funny thing is, the reason I'm doing this is because there's a barbell on that person's back. And everything you're saying is just adding another plate. The weight that they got on their back is getting heavier and heavier. Because deadass, you just keep talking about all this stuff. Because then when they say something, they voice their opinion, they got all that weight on their back. Not only are they someone that's being like paid to be watched play the sport, now their opinion means that much more because of what they do. They are just someone that's doing a job to earn a paycheck. So I know y'all laughing at the analogy, but when I come back to it, again, right. They say they got all this weight on their back for what?
No,
there's someone earning a paycheck.
Do that barbell.
Don't overarch your back too much. Don't overarch your back too much, man.
You're right. I got to keep the core right. You're right.
So we just want
in general,
we wanted to touch light on that, and then we want to finish up, obviously, with our last topic that still stays on football, and then pay our thanks to Willie. Something new just came about the NFL, and I'm going to read it better because I can't say it off the cuff to make it to be exactly correct. But anyway, what has happened in the NFL and that's just transpired is that the NFL owners now will vote next week on a resolution that will improve a team's draft position if it hires a person of color as a head coach or a general manager, per sources. This is Jim Trotter of the NFL. Currently, there are only 2 black GMs and 4 head coaches of color. And that is matching a 17-year low in the NFL, which is crazy that is news. And let's just dive into that and slice it up, man. You know, it goes back into a black quarterback's here to stay. Shit, we didn't even get into black coaches topic, but let's go in now. What do y'all think? That's crazy, in my opinion.
So the Rooney Rule wasn't enough. Obviously, you heard about that like during the hiring process. Everyone kept saying that the Rooney Rule wasn't doing enough to get these people in the room. They were just checking off the box. We interviewed the black coach. We'll bring him in for the first interview, and then once it doesn't mean anything afterwards, we'll just continue with our process. Like so many people were saying those exact points. It's like the Rooney Rule now was just in place to what? Make it so that you bring that person in and let them know, like, we're just bringing you in to check a box. Like, what you do and your accomplishments mean absolutely nothing. The offensive coordinator from Kansas City is one person that, like, stands out much more than a lot of other coaches in this process because he was brought in on several processes just to check that box. And this is a man that won a ring. This is a man that won a ring who's been under the tutelage of a Super Bowl winning coach, a coach that's been to more than one Hall of Fame coach. Exactly. So the Rooney Rule wasn't enough. This is something that's now in place to create another incentive, and I think it will serve the purpose for now. But eventually, the hope I think is that it changes the mindset. Yeah. That you can build with these people of color in these positions of power. As crazy as it sounds, that you still have to convince someone with an incentive to let them know that we're still capable of doing the job better or as capable as someone else.
Well, Deezy, go ahead. I can feel you itching through the screen right now. Go ahead, and we'll pass off the session.
I just think this shit in 2020, this shit is stupid. It's, you know what I mean? Like, Kev hit the nail on the head. I thought that would be the number one, you know what I mean, coach everybody sought after. And there's so many great black coaches out there and GMs just not getting a chance, man. And it's just ridiculous. We talking about this in 2020. Like, this shit is stupid. But at the same time, I'm hoping they don't just pick up anybody off the street that they can control, you know what I mean, that's not as qualified, just to put in a position to get better draft picks. I hope they put the qualified individuals in the right position, because, you know what I mean, there are people that they can just make puppets and just do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say. So I hope they really put qualified people in a position, because there definitely are in this league that don't get the shot.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk more on the fact that the league is I'm not exactly sure the statistic of it, but I'm pretty sure that it's over 80% of the NFL is African American. And to go from a player, I don't know how many of those guys, what's the percentage of Hall of Famers are African American, but what I'm hitting on is the fact that you have amazing football minds, whether it be players that came back or players who have played, who've tried to step into coaching positions, who've gotten assistants, but it never amounted to anything other than assistants positions. Mm-hmm. Because I think those players have a different kind of knowledge into the league. It's not, and then if you were to elect these guys into higher ranking positions as a GM or a head coach or something like that, it would truly change the NFL. It would change the face of the NFL. So it goes back to, like I said before, when we were talking about the black quarterback thing. The reason I said that I think it's bad is because I believe the NFL to be a good old boys kind of league. It's a lot of nepotism that happens throughout the NFL, especially on the coaching side of it. GMs, you went to this school, so I'm going to give you a look. I heard you're good. I'm not saying that good coaches don't come from that. It's just because of that train of thought, it's people like myself or people who more like Trev or anybody else, any other person who might aspire to be a coach or who might want to be a coach, who might be discouraged from it because I don't have this connection in the higher places, because I don't know this guy. I didn't go to this school. I might be well overqualified than this person, but because I don't know this person or that person, this person here, then I'm more than likely I don't have a shot. So fuck, I'm gonna do something else basically. Yeah. And it keeps it's just the league changes, and the more it changes, it stays the same.
I appreciate the fact that you connected many dots, not only the previous players, the Hall of Famers, the current coaches in college, the players that are coming out of college that don't become NFL players, that are great coaches, but again, they don't see those opportunities. They're not aware of the possibilities, so they just don't even follow, or they stop the pursuit of those opportunities because of the lack of the available choices.
And I'll dive in. I mean, I think Sesh hit so many nails on the head. But I think, obviously I have the unique perspective of, one, being a college coach and can kind of give you the insight to that. But also being what the avenue is now is the training lane, right? Obviously, if you don't know, I said in the first episode, I run a training business that teaches the insights and nuances, along with Sesh as one of my partners, to teach kids the game of football the right way. And a lot of that has opened up the avenue in the lane simply because the fact is that, like Sesh said, it's nepotism, right, going on here and there. You look at the discrepancy of how many players that are black, right, and then how many coaches there are. To be in this lane and this avenue, I'm a college coach, and I find it so difficult because obviously Kevin and Sesh can attest to this. The game is the game, but it's not as hard as one these coaches make it. You know what I'm saying? They want to overcomplicate, like the game is simple. Blocking, tackling is always going to be your forefront, you know what I mean? Point blank, period. but the things that they do to keep it. I think a lot of us that have played the game for so long are sitting there like, yo, this shit is stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's dumb. But because we have that stigma and it goes into the angry black man, okay, now it's like, oh, you don't know what it takes. And then a lot of us are like, yo, I played this game for so long. You're going to tell me I got to get the low totem pole for the position I played, for somebody to tell me that you never played this position, to some drills you learned from college, some seminars and whatever, to tell me? Come on, that's not it. That's not it. And I think it goes deeper. One, I think the whole rule that they're doing is point blank whack, right? Because one, we're not asking for a fucking handout as black coaches, right? We're just asking to let us show what the fuck we can do, point blank, period, and let everything else take what it's going to take. Because if you give us a chance to really show our minds and realize, man, all this shit y'all doing, all these extra meetings and everything that is useless, and we can get to the root, a lot of people will realize, like, and it goes back to what Seth said, like, we just want a chance, and this is not the chance. I think it's a whack ass rule, but there's some brilliant fucking minds out there. Kev alluded to the Chiefs coach, right? Give him a chance, right? Why does he got to keep being under somebody and being under a white coach to show how great he is? No, fuck that. Give us a chance. You telling me Deion Sanders right now can't go into a head coach and fail like a lot of these other coaches can and then be great?
Give me a chance. Give me a chance to fail. Give me a chance.
Give me
Not.
All right? Give me a fucking chance. And I don't need to be under this coaching tree and this coaching tree and this coaching tree, because this is why the game is completely the same. All right?
So I think coaches that understand the game, they step away for a little while and come back to it in a different capacity.
I can tell you
Herm Edwards. We see Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards is in college and he's happy.
Yeah,
he stepped away from the game for a while.
But I can tell you from experience right now and going through it is like I battle every day because like I'm a black assistant coach. Cool. But now I'm under this white coach. I'm like, I'm struggling daily. Like, this doesn't have to be this. Like, I'm telling you what it's like to not only play DB, but what it feels like to, Kev, I called the checks and defenses. We knew you can pretty much put our team out there and you didn't have to call a defensive coordinator because we knew what the fuck we needed to do. And we could make every call. So it's just like, it's tough. It is tough. It is tough. It is tough. And it makes black coaches like Sesh, Kev, myself, and like, yo, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. So we're just asking, like, one, they need to refresh their minds about what football is and what it entails, and two, like, give a real chance to motherfuckers to step up. Like, I've seen Ed Reed running coaching job, and Deion Sanders is trying to say he's only accepting a head coaching job at the college level. And the crazy thing is that he doesn't have that is wild. Like,
it's crazy. This is and the best by far. Like, I think it's a consensus. It might be some people out there would say he isn't, but he's top 2 best defensive backs to ever play the game. I'm just giving. I don't know who would say it, but I know it's what was Cuz's name from the Redskins? That
Sean Taylor, my bad.
So it's certain people that you can, depending on the position, but Deion Sanders it's prime time.
The best corner ever to do it.
What is it that Deion can't do to help your team as a head coach? Even not like I don't with the connections that he has as the best cornerback to ever play the game. You don't think he will be able to put together a decent assistant staff with the connections that he has through the game? I don't know, man.
So what I would say is I appreciate the opportunity that they've been able to get Ed Reed and both Deion Sanders.
I think Ed Reed is like recent. Ed Reed's like a liaison or something like that.
Right, so, but in the last couple of years, they've been able to coach, I think, the All-American teams. And I think that's a great chance for them to get that national spotlight and let people know, like, this is what I'm doing. And I'm hopefully at some point, like you said, they get the opportunity. but I'm glad that the All-American games and other games like that are giving them the chance to show that they are coaches,
and I think it's
only professionals and all.
And this is what gets me annoyed. It's like the chance. It's like, one, I can speak on, when you look at their resumes, Deion Sanders started a school, right? He's been the head coach, doing everything else, doing a number of things, and his team is still dominant to the point that high school teams don't want to play him, right? Ed Reed had like a coaching stint in the NFL, I believe, and said the hours and stuff like that are just crazy. And I think Lofa Tatupu followed the same thing because he was so brilliant on the field, and he worked under Pete Carroll at the Seahawks, and he only could do 1 year, right? So, like, these moms are sitting there telling you, like, yo, the game does not have to be this complicated. And I think the coaches, and one thing about we can say to coaching is you can coach to 80, right? You can coach to motherfucking 80 years old, 60 years old, right? And
Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick.
that tree ain't gonna die. So like this, how do you break the cycle? And I think this is not the way to do it. I just think it's almost like a slap in our face that, like Sesh said, is over 80% of us are black in the NFL and black throughout college football. And the fact is they have to make this rule. Instead of making a rule, let's look into the deeper segment of why there aren't college coaches that are black, NFL coaches that are black.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to thank Trev for that Blair Witch moment while Sesh was talking that shit, so we're not going to get rid of it.
Listen, man, listen. I promise y'all, yo, I can promise this, though.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. You see me? I was ready to swing. I just want to say.
He said, oh, shit.
Yeah. Yo, for all of our followers, I'm glad y'all.
I didn't think anybody was gonna touch on that.
You know I did.
Yeah. It's gonna be a beautiful thing, right? The growth that shit like that won't happen. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have a student background, all this shit that you need. So like, just stick with us. We're gonna get there in a minute. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yo, you know something? That's another thing that I actually wanted to touch on when I first got in here. To this day, since y'all started it, this podcast, till this day, Wiz Khalifa, the statement, that song will never get old to me.
Never.
That song will never get old to me.
And hopefully,
and the cool thing about that is,
go ahead.
The cool thing about that is like back in the day when Kush and Orange Juice came out, that's what we used to ride to. Like that whole mixtape. It was cool times, yo.
And
it's cool times then, yo.
And Wiz, when we blow up, yo, you hear this, man? We're doing it more of appreciation. So that copyright frame, please give us the acceptance. You feel me, Wiz? So don't.
We were vibing. We were vibing, Wiz.
Yeah,
we were vibing. It's meant a lot to us.
We just vibing with you, keeping you alive, and you know what I mean? I'm not saying you like. So don't hit us with a fee because we can't pay it, Wiz. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna change it.
Ain't got it.
But word, man, Willie, we want to thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Man, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Our first guest, man, and believing with us, man. We're gonna get
Episode 5.
Episode 5, man. We brought our first guest in, and we won't forget it. What you guys said? You jumped to the screen. All, you know what I'm saying?
The legend, man. That's all I was just wanting to make sure everybody knew that's the legend, man. That's the legend. Put some respect on my man's name.
Put some respect.
That's the legend.
So anybody that is not following us, anybody that gets a chance, even if you just subscribe. Subscribe. You can find us on What Is Your Aim 3 on YouTube. We'll get there in a minute. Podcast. You put that in. Hopefully you see us. Hopefully we get into that top of the charts where we're the first people up there. So just subscribe, like, and all of our 100 followers. Once again, 100 plus followers. Let me rephrase it. 100 plus.
There you go. Let them know.
Man, definitely.
There you go.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And we out of this joint, man. We out of this joint.
Yeah.
Peace.
This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life